is now 12:20. Would like to officially start the meeting. And Reverend Bluford, I hope you're back with us from the board meeting. If you would open us up with a word of prayer, would be much appreciated.
Sure. And I see that Alex has joined us today. And Alex, I think we all reach out to you with our prayers and thoughts for you and your family during this time. Let us pray. God, we come to you in the midst of all that is occurring around us and with us to lift up, Lord, the opportunities that you give us to live life in a very wonderful way. We also recognize the struggles and difficulties that we have in this journey of life. And may God, as we go forward, recognize the gift that you give us as one to share out of the bounty that is ours and the blessings of life itself. We lift up all who are going through struggles today. May you embrace them and provide for them is our prayer. Now grant us the opportunity to continue to give out of what's been given to us, because we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you, Reverend Bluford. We certainly appreciate that. People are still logging on as we continue the meeting, but we're going to move right along. This is a club assembly. I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time out to join us today and get an update on what's going on in your wonderful Farragut Rotary Club here. We've got a lot of activities, a lot of things that we discussed in the board meeting. But as is customary, our greeter here, Noah, is not on the line. I don't see yet today. So I will ask, is there any good news that any member would like to share, or anything that you might have on your mind that you would like to share with the club? We would certainly appreciate that at this time. Thank you. Anybody?
And I've got some good news, I guess. Next Tuesday, the 11th, my wife Diane and I will celebrate our 41st anniversary.
Wow, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have some good news. This is Phil and Judith.
Yes, go ahead. Who's that?
Phil was approved.
Oh, yes.
Phil was approved to have a new device, which is a kind of speech device. I don't know if any of you saw the documentary about Stephen Hawking on PBS about last year, but he had a device like that. It's kind of like a computer, and you look into it, and it can tell from the movement of your eyes your speech. And so Phil is going to get the ability to speak again. Right?
Awesome.
It's going to take a while to learn.
Wonderful.
I have to learn as well. But anyway, we'll give you a demonstration perhaps 6 months from now. Okay?
Good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else with any shares? Good news?
Well, my granddaughters have been with us for the last few days. We spent 4 days at the Buckhorn Inn in the mountains in a private house. And we had a ball, and the girls saw their first bear in the wild from about 30 yards away. And they lived to talk about it. So that's good news.
That was fun. I bet it was.
It was a blast.
Great. There's Alex Barnwell. Alex, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Could you share with us? We certainly good to see you on the call today. And as you said, we express our condolences to you and your family and the loss of your granddaughter. Would you like to share with us, please?
Well, she just had SIDS, so it was she's growing and maturing, and her little personality was coming out, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
But thank you all for your prayers.
Well, thank you, Alex. Thank you. We certainly heartfelt condolences for that. I know how tough that is for you, but thank you for sharing it. We appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay. I see want to give a shout out to Val there, Val. We certainly appreciate your help, you and Renee, in conducting the survey. That was quite helpful for us. Thank you so much. I would tell everybody I take credit for the professional job on that survey that went out, but since Val was on the line, I won't lie. She she helped me out with that. Thank you. Anything else that we have people would like to share? Okay. Wow. You guys look like I'm going to do a lot of talking here today. Not really. I would just like to get into kind of where we are as a club. We just finished our board meeting. I thought it was a very good board meeting. And we had District Governor Ron Appoon to attend the meeting. And during his share, he certainly had some encouraging words of advice for us in this time of the pandemic. Very complimentary of the club, as am I. We've got a great club, a wonderful group of individuals, and yeah, we're just a great club. I'll leave it short at that. We would like to have committee chairs and bring the club up to date on what's going on in their particular area. And first, like to David, Reverend Bluford, we're going to bring you up, even though we talk about next week's meeting at the end. In administration, would like to, if you would, kind of bring the club up to date on where we are.
Sure, welcome. Appreciate it. And as I shared with the board meeting, hopefully everyone has read and reviewed Tom's newsletter from last Sunday, and it has a highlight of our meetings coming up in August. Next week, we'll have Rosa Marr coming, who is a member of the Bearden Club, and she'll be sharing about a program that they've been involved in, and we have too supported that, the Heart to Heart program, and so welcome that. And following that, on the 19th of August will be Bob Kesling. Most of us know him as the voice of the Vols, and so he'll come and share with us. Maybe we'll get an update about what's going on in college activities, more so a little bit more definite direction of where things are at that point. That'll just be a couple days after they're allowed to start practicing again. And then the final week, we'll have Pam Neal. Pam is on staff at First Baptist Church in Knoxville, but she'll be sharing with us from her connections and her activity as overseeing the Knoxville Police Chaplains, and also as she serves as president of the International Association of Police Chaplains. And so they'll be sharing with us. And so we look forward to that. Have a couple folks on tap for September, but certainly have more openings down the road, and encourage any of you, if you know of anybody that you would like to have as a speaker, would be willing to come and share with us, let me know that, and so I can contact them and get them on the calendar as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Reverend Bluford. We have, I had a, I'm sorry, I got an email or a text message from our Youth Services Committee, Cindy. Cindy, I was looking for you. Are you on the call, Cindy? Okay, she was a minute ago, but I'll just report. I'm sure everybody is aware that the Youth Exchange.
Here,
I'm
I
sorry.
had a temporary assignment to get the dogs out of the way.
Okay.
But
All righty. Good deal. The Rotary Youth Exchange, of course, has been canceled for this year. And that was a big part of the activity for the youth committee. But right now I have from Cindy Krause said that the youth committee is working on having a young man from Webb that they're interested in starting a Rotaract club at Pellissippi State Community College. So that's great news coming from the youth committee. going to back up a bit and have our secretary, Mr. Joshua Hornberger, bring us up to date on all of our stats and all of the good news as it relates to our attendance, etc.
Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well out there. Our attendance has actually been fairly consistent, and it's been pretty good through the Zoom calls here. We just concluded the board meeting. We are sitting at still right around 100 members, and our attendance has been 46% and 47% respectively for the 2 Zoom meetings. The first one we hosted was a little bit less, but right around 30% of the club attended that meeting. But we're growing, and we are challenging everybody to reach out to those members who may not completely understand Zoom or may have troubles logging on to Zoom. Reach out, give those fellow members a call, encourage them to join our sessions. Today, I just took attendance, and we're right around 40% of the members attending. So far on the call. So I just challenge each and every one of you to help your fellow members participate as much as possible. And also, I wanted to note that Scott and Arlene Weinstein will have sent in their notice to leave the Rotary Club of Farragut here, because they are going to be pursuing a house down in Florida. So they'll be moving, and that was seconded and approved by the board today. We're so sad to see you two leave. They'll be leaving at the end of September, so they will stay members until the end of September here.
One major dissenting vote.
Yeah, yeah. Two dissenting votes.
Good.
And Terry Joe was the third down there. So, yeah, very, very sad to see them leave, but we wish them all the best. Also, Nina is going to be inducted here soon. Jim, we're going to try to, we had a discussion today at the board meeting about Nina. I believe you're going to be doing the new member orientation for Scott Bertini next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We're
In
going
an
to
email
talk.
that I got from Nina, though, she told me that she wanted to wait to be inducted
Okay.
until after the kids are back in school.
Gotcha. All right. Then that clarified our discussion at the board meeting. Thank you, Jim. That pretty much concludes my report, secretary report for the meeting. So
Thank you.
back
Thank
to
you.
you.
Good job. Is Howard still on? Howard Fast,
I'm
give
here.
us there we go. Bring us up to date, Howard.
Okay, thank you, Ed, I appreciate it. The invoices were sent out by email in mid-July. I've gotten about 35 to 40% response. So every month, at the beginning of the month, I send out reminders. And if you are 31 days or above late with your invoices, paying your invoices, you got a reminder in your email. So we still need to get the members to forward their checks. And we still got about $8,000 and $9,000 out there we can still collect. And about 40% to 45% of that is from last fiscal year, 2019, 2020. So please forward your checks, and that's it, Ed.
Okay. Thank you, Howard. Appreciate that.
I got a question about that.
Sure. Yes.
We forward the checks. I sent an email asking where to forward the checks to. I didn't get a response, and I also asked if there's a way we can pay online.
Now, We just accept checks and cash, and on your invoice in the top left-hand corner is the Rotary address.
Got it.
So every time I send out an email, I attach the invoice, and the invoice has the PO box.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Other questions for Howard?
Yeah, I'm not paying till he gets rid of that Yankees hat.
Amen.
They got the best record. They got the best record in baseball right now.
Uh-huh. You're still not getting any money.
It's only July, right? It's only August.
They play in the weakest division too.
Oh yeah, right.
Jim, while I have you on the line, I will be in touch with you regarding the foundation interaction and a few other items that we might need to discuss as a result of some committee meetings that we've had.
At your convenience, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for that. All right. A big shout out, Mr. Tom King. We need some help. Tom has got a lot of good things going on. Before Tom speaks, I'd like to still encourage everybody. You heard Joshua's report on attendance, and that's very good. And I'd like to commend everybody for hanging in there. We still working on trying to involve everybody, engage everybody in what we do, and later on I'll share something with you that we're planning to do at our next club assembly. But right now, one of the biggest things that we have going is our Flu Shot Saturday. This is coming up on September 19th, and I'm sure Tom will expound on that a little bit, but I want to encourage you to mark that on your calendar and if at all possible, participate. We're looking for, I won't say a few good men and women, we're looking for as many as we can get, 30, 35 of you to help out. And as I always mention, I know there's a lot of concern or some concern about the safety, but first and foremost on all of our agenda is the health and well-being of all of the members. So you can be assured that precautions definitely are going to be taken in participating in that activity. Thank you. Tom, I'll turn it over to you.
I guess, I don't think Mark Bialik's on the call today.
No, he's not.
Flu Shot Saturday is the 19th of September. Right now it's at 4 sites. That may expand. Right now it's at Farragut, Austin East, Halls, and West High Schools. And I was talking to Dr. Barnett yesterday. There's going to be 3,500 shots available. And we're going to need a lot of volunteers at each site to help with, obviously, the administrative things that we do every year, but also traffic control. They're going to be putting up tents at each site. Cars will drive through and people in the car will get the shot. It will be rain or shine. It's probably one reason we're doing the tents. But, and we've got the Knox County Sheriff's Office Reserve deputies are going to help us with traffic control and being at the sites, which will be good. And they're doing that for free, pro bono. And Tom, we needed a lot of traffic cones, and Tom Marsh has come up with 175 of those. So that should get us through the 4 sites so far. But Mark thinks we're going to need about 35 volunteers from our club, and I think that's going to be about right, probably. He's thought about that a lot. Any questions about Flu Shot Saturday? It's going to start at 8 o'clock. We'll probably need people to get there earlier than that, to get the cones set up. And Mark will fill us in on that as we go forward on this. But any questions? It's a great PR opportunity for our club, and the other 5 clubs in town will be working on this project as well. From a standpoint of the other family of Rotary News, Betty Cisco's struggling a little bit. I don't think Betty's on the call today. She's been having some breathing problems, and I don't know that she's on oxygen 24/7, but she is a lot. And I think Julie probably knows that as well. Chris Camp's holding her own. It wasn't great news about her, but she said she's reacting very well to the chemo. And so that's good news there. And you all, we opened up with Alex and about his family. And I know our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers have been with Alex and his family about his little granddaughter. Can't imagine what they're going through. The public relations standpoint, we've still got the newsletter going, obviously the website. We're going to be looking for a webmaster that Scott Weinstein will hopefully help train before he exits to Gator country. And I hope he doesn't join with Doug Powell and become a Florida Gator fan. I'm a little afraid about that.
Actually, I have a degree from Miami.
Oh, Miami. Okay, that's fine. That's fine because they always beat Florida anyway when they play usually. So that's good. But everything else is going well. I will tell you that my Rotary column every Thursday at Knox 10 Today has restarted. So I've had one for the last 2 weeks, have another one tomorrow, and those will be going on every week. I think that's it, President Ed.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. And again, every chance I get, I commend you on the great job that you do. Remind everybody, please read the newsletter. That's right now is one of our main source of communications and trying to keep everybody connected. We pass a lot of stuff to the membership through the newsletter. So please keep that in mind. And not only is it informative, it's fun to read as well. Thank you. Mr. Brokamp, Scott, you still on? Okay, no, I don't see Scott. I think he got off on the fundraising. But from that regard, we are doing some innovative things we think are going to work out with the fundraising. Brian Elton, would you please talk a little bit about our service project?
Sure. So one of the service projects that we've had for a while is the stream cleanup, which is normally done during cooler weather in the spring. And since that was canceled, Sonia and I discussed possibly moving that to the fall and still getting that done this year. And then one of the projects that Terry Jo had was the little library, which I believe was slated for Ridgedale and Ball Camp. Sonia and I discussed, we may need to move those little libraries elsewhere since it looks like school is not going to be in session like normal. So we discussed maybe moving one of those or both of those to maybe a more public area where that's frequented by children, like a park, like maybe Founders Park or Anchor Park or McPhee Park. And then as Tom King mentioned in the board meeting, she and I need to follow up on the Laundry Love, which we'll do that. And then Sonia and I discussed some new ideas for this year about maybe doing a blood drive. And then as I also discussed in the board meeting, an idea that I got from a cousin of mine that does this. He keeps a bag in the back of his truck for homeless people. And the bag has like socks, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, some crackers and a can of soup. He just keeps it in the back of his truck. And then when his work is downtown, and so whenever he's at an intersection and sees a homeless person, he just reaches in the back of his truck and gets his bag and puts it out the window and gives it to a person in need. So we thought maybe we could kind of continue doing that. Something that's worked well for him, and something that we could get all the club members involved in getting the bags together, and maybe identifying some club members maybe that travel in areas that where they frequently encounter maybe people in need that could receive those bags. So that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. A lot of good things going on. Want to make a comment here. You know, we probably are somewhat limited as far as the big group activities that we do, but we still have a number of small activities that will amount to a big activity in the end. So anytime we have a service project fundraiser, we certainly like to encourage everybody to do what you can to participate and support those efforts. Thank you. We talked about the membership. One of the things that I wanted to do was to bring everybody up to date on the survey and talk about that. Bear with me while I try to find it. I got it here somewhere, and I will share that screen with you. Apologize, it went away. Well, while I'm looking, and if I seem distracted, I'm searching for it. But what I wanted to say generally about the survey is I certainly appreciate everybody taking part in the survey, and it definitely provided, from my perspective, a number of positive things about the club. Oh, one thing I'd like to give a shout out to Megan Belcher. Megan is unable to attend. She is participating in the vaccine trial with Pfizer, and I wanted to definitely let everybody know about that and give you an example of, I guess, the dedication and commitment that our members have to doing things for the community, the world at large. So definitely want to commend her for doing that. I am still looking. While I'm doing that, Ms. Becky Duncan, if you're still on the call, we have quite a number of things going on with the international grants. If you could bring us up to date on that, I would certainly appreciate it.
Hey, we are investigating, and we will continue to look at some opportunities to join initially someone else's international grant. We would like to do this before we try to initiate one of our own, but we're looking, one of the ones we've been talking about, is school in Honduras, which already has some possibilities. There were Rotarians involved there in the past. We know that there's some integrity in these clubs that are involved, plus they speak English. We'll be looking at that. We're also looking to join grants with other local clubs, like Bearden joined us this past year on our grant that we just completed. We're definitely looking for opportunities, and of course, what we're able to do will rely a lot on our fundraising and/or donations to the foundation. So we hope that everyone will help support these things. If anybody has suggestions, we're open to suggestions. If you know of projects going on that might meet Rotary national guidelines for the types of things we can do.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate it. I did find the survey results, and I'm going to share my screen with you. One thing I'd like to say at the outset is, just wanted to be perfectly clear on, what the situation is, and where we are, and what the intent is. The club, as Howard reported earlier, we're in fine financial shape. We're not suffering or struggling or anything like that. we have about 25K in our money market account. And as I was reminded, that's a rainy day kind of a deal, but it's raining pretty hard right now. We may, if we continue to do normal charitable contributions, tap into that as we need to in order to function as we have in the past and support the community and that we live in. So with that in mind, be perfectly clear that no, we're not. The intent is not to beat anybody over the head or twist an arm or anything like that. But the survey was done just for the purpose of getting us a feel for where the membership minds or what your thoughts were as it relates to the funding, as it relates to attending meetings and so forth. And we use or intend to use the results to as a challenge, if you will, to figure out how to make the connection between what we found out and how we operate going forward. With that being said, I'm going to share the screen here with you and show you the results of the survey. And here we are. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for participating. And we had very good results or very good participation in the survey. The first question, as I said, this is just not saying that there was going to be an assessment or we were considering an assessment, but just to get a feel for what your thinking was as it relates to floating the ship if the need arose. And the $24 was an arbitrary number, rounding out the $76 per quarter to an even $100 without meals. So the question was, would you be in favor of a voluntary, temporary, quarterly donation of at least $24 to help fund the club charitable activities? And as we said, this would decrease the likelihood of using the club money market account for these activities. And these are the results of the survey. As you can see, it's about 80 to would be in favor of 20% no. And I understand some of the reasoning behind that. But as I said, this is not a vote or anything on an assessment. That's not the intent. But I see this as a challenge. What it tells me is that we have a number of people in the club that are willing to support or donate in times of need. As I said, we're a club of some magnificent, truly dedicated individuals who are willing to help in whatever way that they can, be it monetarily or physically, and whatever projects that we might have going on. So that tells me that where we have to make a connection. People are willing to contribute. Now we need to figure out a way to have them to contribute in whatever method or whatever amounts that they feel would be adequate. Our fundraising committee we have a few ideas of things that we have going on that will allow individual members to make contributions to support the club in whatever way that they feel necessary. So that being said, we'll move on to the next question. One, this was just to see where people were or what your thinking was as it related to attending in-person meetings, because we've therefore suspended meetings right now based in the middle of the pandemic and temporarily, I hope. But these are the results of that. The question was, how likely are you to attend an in-person meeting during the pandemic on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most likely? As you can see, the majority was not in favor of attending, would most likely not attend. And what we're going to be doing is reaching out to people individually to find out what your concerns are, what might be done. Now they're in the middle. Some people are on the fence, about 10%, and there's about 15.3% that would likely attend an in-person meeting. So, and as I said, this is just for informational purposes, to see where people's thoughts are. As it relates to a virtual club meeting, can be most likely, overwhelmingly, most people favor of attending. And that's been evidenced by the number of people that we have on our Zoom call. There are some challenges, we understand. And again, we're, Scott, we're definitely going to miss Scott in the webmaster role, and the Zoom, et cetera, but we're going to be reaching out. What can we do in order to make this more a usable process for you? Some it works for some it does not. But as you can see, this is the result of that answer, that question. Go back to the regular screen. That's what we have. Questions or comments? I hate doing a monologue.
Ed,
I do.
Yes, go ahead, Jim.
I noticed that only 58 members responded to the survey. Is there any possibility that we might send it out to those that didn't respond to give them another opportunity to share their thoughts about it with us?
Yeah, we can do that. It was sent to all of the membership. I think but yeah, answer your question, it can be sent again. And I'm speaking, Val, you need to address that more than I can. As I said on the front end, Val and her staff implemented or executed the survey. So Val.
Yeah, and that should be my staff implemented the survey, not me. Let me see if it is easier just to send it out again. And if you voted not to vote, we might do that, Ed. If she has to go through and pull each one that didn't respond, but if we could easily do that, yes. So we'll notify you whichever way is the best way to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, so we can easily do it again. My question would be for those that are in favor of a meeting, and I think this had been discussed, but so we could have the meeting and also people could attend via Zoom. That's been discussed as well.
I'm sorry, Val. Once more, say again.
So if people want to attend the meeting, there's a possibility of having people attend the meeting and have it Zoomed as well. You did that a couple of times. I know I was on vacation and didn't get to go, but is that what we're talking about as well? Well,
at this point, no. The in-person right now we've suspended. We take that back to the board and see, if the in-person is if it's appropriate to bring back the in-person. We just made a decision that at this time, but when we do, the answer to your question, it is intended to do both the virtual and the in-person. For those that can't or have no desire to attend in person, we still want to make the meeting available for everybody. Other questions or comments? Okay. Everybody's awfully quiet here this afternoon. I know it's just 1 o'clock. But anyway, I wanted to share with and present the challenge to you. This is where we are. And these are some of the things that we're considering in the angle or approach that we are using to accomplish these things. But we definitely want to keep everybody involved. We definitely want to find out what your thoughts are. Coming at our next club assembly, this is going to be virtual as well, but we have 3 areas of concern, or maybe I should say that we want to get input from the club on. Let me look at this message here. Okay. looking at a message, the chat message. I'll get back to that. But one is service projects, one fundraising, another is membership. At our next meeting, our next club assembly, please mark your calendars to be present. Take into consideration what we intend to do. We intend to have a virtual meeting, but we're going to have a breakout room. We want to allow members who have a certain interest in whatever that area might be, membership, fundraising, service project, to break out into that breakout session, discuss whatever you have on your mind, and then we bring all of that back together and hope have some direction from everybody. But we want to give everybody in the club an opportunity to participate and bring your ideas forward. When I was meeting with the fundraising committee, there was 3 of us, and I told them it's, when you include me, 2.5 minds are better than just one. So if we can get pull together a lot of folks here, we hope to be able to get a lot of input, a lot of ideas. And as I said, a lot of little things or several small things can amount to be one big thing. And as I said, we're not hurting, but we still want to perform in a fashion that we've become accustomed to as the Rotary Club of Farragut.
Ed, may I interject a moment?
Sure.
I got on the phone to find out. So the way we would have to go through and look, since those surveys are sent anonymously. So if we send it out again, and we will just put, please don't respond if you have already participated. Okay. So those that have not participated will be able to do that, but that's the easiest way for us to do it.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, thank you, Val. Okay, that's all that I have. It's good to see your smiling faces in the place, and certainly hope everybody is doing well. I'll be reaching out to everybody at some point. I'd like to just check in on you personally, see how things are going. But don't hesitate to call me, text me, email me, whatever. If you have any ideas, thoughts, or things that you want to bring forward, let me know. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Wow. I'm going to end.
Ed.
Yes.
Did you mention the Sergeant at Arms?
Oh no, I am sorry. Tom, will you discuss that while I sort through some things here?
Okay.
Thank you.
At the board meeting, we talked about the Sergeant at Arms position. If you have someone that you think would be a really good Sergeant at Arms, please talk to that person and let Ed know a name or names. I brought up at the board meeting that we've been very lucky the last 26 years to have Jim Dodd be so dedicated to do what he does. I don't know that we're going to find another Jim Dodd today. And I thought about maybe we have co-sergeant at arms when we get back together in our in-person meeting. So one person could do it. They could rotate each month, perhaps. That could be more palatable to get some members interested in that job. And once we get back in person, and I'm sure we will, that's a very important job, as you know. So be thinking about who could do it, ask them if they're interested, let Ed know, so we can move ahead with that. I think that's what is that about it, Ed?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. I something that slipped between the cracks here.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? All right. Well, we will end. I will. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Clicked the wrong button. I was about to leave the meeting. I'd like to end with the four-way test. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair to all
All
concerned?
concerned.
Third, will it
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth, will it be
Will it be
beneficial?
beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Farragut Rotarians, for a good meeting. I certainly hope it was informative. Stay in touch. Have a great day and the rest of the week. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.